Great Rising family. Welcome. This is Dr. Kia Pruitt. I hope everybody's doing well. Check in and let us know where you're hailing from and how you are doing. Today is Wednesday. It is June the 19th, 2025, and the time is 4:03 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm so happy to see everybody. So you know how people say that we're always saying that something's happening or people are being arrested, but it's always happening behind the scenes, or good news is coming. But when we announce that news, people will say, we don't see it. And it's not mentioned in mainstream media. So where are you getting this information from? Well, family, I have some news for you today that you can actually find on the internet. Not just going to resignation.info. If you go to resignation.info, you will see a list of nearly 10,000 people that were forced to retire, resign, or step down in some kind of way. And you will see on that list CEOs of banks. You will see prime ministers of different countries. You will see owners of social media outlets. You will see a lot of people in the health industry, CEOs of banks and other corporations. But you have to know about resignation.info in order to find that information of arrests of between 10,000 people within 140 something countries, almost 200 nations. Okay, so we'll talk about that later. But what's making mainstream media news now? Keep checking in, family. That is a breaking news, okay, that Democrats are being arrested. Now, this is good news because this is just a precursor of what is to come. Maybe we'll have an emergency broadcast system announcement. Maybe we'll see some public arrests and some public executions. I don't know. But I will tell you that several Democrats have either been arrested, detained, or charged under the Trump administration due to the White House crackdown on illegal immigration. Now, I told you on yesterday that Trump has planned a mass deportation agenda where he's telling people that have come into the country, whether you're a migrant or an immigrant, if you've come into this country illegally, for whatever reason, you have to go. Or if your visa's up or you've expired your time here, you have to go. And so what President Trump has told people is go ahead and self-deport. And what we'll do, since 15 million people invaded our borders under the but the Biden administration alone, he said, we have an app for you to self-deport and we will even pay for it. You can pay for it yourself or we will pay for it. And we'll give you $1,000 to help you for your troubles. And we will give you the opportunity to come back lawfully. Well, that wasn't enough for the Democrats who had allowed a lot of illegal immigrants to come into our country. We understand that people come for various reasons. They want better opportunities. They know this is the greatest country in the world. Of course, I'm egocentric and I think that because I'm a national and I'm American, right? I think this is the greatest nation in the world. It's the world's largest economy. China is second, but we're number one. So why wouldn't people want to come here? But President Trump said 15 million people came here under the Biden administration. Then, if that wasn't enough, Biden allowed for 532,000 illegal, well, I don't want to call them illegal, but migrants to cross here from Venezuela, Brazil, where else? Haiti, no, not Brazil, Venezuela, Haiti, Cuba, and there was one other country that escapes me. But 532,000 came on a humanitarian visa, and they were only supposed to be here 2 years. Well, not only can you be here, you're sponsored to come, and under Biden's administration, you could work for 2 years, so you got a work visa as well. Well, that program began in 2022, and now it's 2025. The 2 years they're up for those that came in 2022, and even those that came in 2023, their time is almost up. Okay, so Trump is saying you have to self-deport or we will deport you. We will arrest anybody that overstays their visa or anybody that's here unlawfully or illegally, because many people that came here, in fact, some immigration attorneys that are now stepping forward saying most people that came here under several presidential administrations came illegally because it's very, very hard to come if you in the legal way. You have to have lots of money in the account, your bank account. You have to have a good job in your home country because they have to know that you're going back. So if you have a good job, they know you'll probably go back. Or if you have money in the bank, you have a business over abroad, they know you're probably going back. Most people don't have that. So what they would do is they would find loopholes. And many presidential administrations allowed for people to cross over our borders, fly into our borders, whatever, fly into our nation by signing and filling out faulty paperwork. So much of this paperwork that they filled out wasn't even vetted. So a lot of people were just coming into our country either without filling out paperwork, or the paperwork that they filled out may have had illegal names, or may have been constructed illegally, may not have the correct age or whatever. So a lot of people, once they would come into America, would overstay their visa and then seek asylum. And so once they got asylum, then they would be considered legal. So even a lot of people are saying, I'm here legally. If you ask them if they came here legally, they might kind of flinch, because a lot of them didn't come here legally. So under the Biden administration, 532,000 migrants came from Cuba, Haiti, Venezuela, and Nicaragua. That was the fourth country. But 15 million people came or are now in our country illegal. So President Trump has cracked down on illegal immigrants because he said, we can't sustain it. We can't sustain all these people here. A lot of the employers are not verifying that these people are legitimate. And what they're doing is they're just going on and hiring people that have been here unlawfully or illegally, and they're paying them below minimum wage, or at the very best minimum wage. And so that those wages undercut the American people, because their American people aren't going to do some of the things that illegal people will do. And they're certainly not going to do it for little pay and no benefits. So these people are being exploited. And some of the women and children are being funneled into the sex industry, or they've been trafficked. So Trump said, we have to protect the women and the children that have come here illegally, and we have to protect the American people, because not only are we being undercut in terms of the jobs, employment, but also a lot of criminals cross the border, or they flew into the country. Because as we reported last year, Biden admitted that his administration flew over tens of thousands of illegal immigrants into our nation. So you got tens of thousands being flown in. You have many millions, by the millions, flooding the borders. And it's like, what's going on? And why has that been allowed for so long? President Trump said, you know what? America first. We have to make America great again by making sure we're safe, because the children and the women that were coming in were trafficked, many of them, or they were convinced to get into the sex industry. A lot of the men that came into our borders were military age men who didn't come with their wives. Now, if you know how countries go to war with each other, they don't just have a war that they declare. They will send men into the borders of the nation that they want to overtake. Military age men that are very virile, so they could grape the women, or even marry the women, okay, which, you know, could be good or not, depending. But, you know, if you got millions of people coming in marrying the women, who are your women, American women, going to marry? I'm just speaking, you know, what to me makes sense. So military age men were coming to our country. They were given cell phones. Many of them were given guns and a lot of benefits. And some of them were not only just given cell phones, but they were given orders, according to some people who are coming forward to say, yeah, people were coming into our country. Some of the men have said, yeah, we've been given orders to come into the country and do certain things. And so that makes us feel uncomfortable. But that's not all. We know a lot of the illegal people that have been coming over here have been raping people, shooting people, unaliving people. And this is documented. So Trump said we had to not only build a wall, but we had to protect the borders by having policies that are really, really strict on the borders. So several of the Democrats decided they wanted to interfere. And so this is what we're reporting on today. Several of those Democrats, though, have been arrested for interfering in Trump's and his administration's crackdown. In fact, the Democratic National Committee, the DNC's chair, Ken Martin, has condemned the Democrats' treatment. He's arguing and stating that lawmakers are being assaulted without reason. The Democrats are just being arrested for no reason at all, according to him. In fact, Ken Martin, who's the chair of the DNC, took to his Twitter account and he said, and I quote, elected officials are being arrested for doing their jobs. This is what he wrote on Wednesday, on Today, in a statement on his social media platform X. And he said, and I quote, once again, the Trump administration is silencing people who disagree with them in broad daylight. These people are being arrested in broad daylight, and I can prove it to you by showing you certain articles. So here are the Democrats, family, who have been recently apprehended by law enforcement. I want to name them for you, and then I want to show you what happened when they got arrested. Hi, Chief Mac. We see Chief Mac's in the house. He said, we have been infiltrated for quite some time. As a matter of fact, Chief Mac, if you have a moment, maybe you can come on and tell the family about how you interviewed some of the African gentlemen that were in Atlanta, and you asked them who they were, and they gave you some information that alluded to the fact that they were allowed into this country illegally. And I think you said they had backpacks and maybe they were even armed. I'm not sure, but if you have a moment, feel free to come on and talk to us about what you discovered, because you often go through cities, particularly around the city where you live in Atlanta and the city from which you came in Gary, Indiana, and that surrounding Chicago area. So you've seen a lot there. You've seen drugs in several communities. You've seen military age men in several communities. You've interviewed several people. You've seen the homelessness rate grow tremendously. So you can speak to how we've been infiltrated. And so whenever you get a chance, you do have a link. So feel free to step forward. You said you'll come up right quick. Okay, that's awesome. So let me show you guys in a minute. He's coming, while he's coming up, or name for you the people that have just recently been arrested. Alex Padilla, he was arrested on June the 12th he was forcibly removed from DHS press conference in Los Angeles. He's a senator of California. You have LaMonica McIver. She was arrested on December the 10th. And I can show you all this right quick so you can see the people's names and see what they were arrested for. These are my notes here. Nope, that's the wrong one. Hold on. So you can read it. Padilla, yes. Lay, that's a person that was arrested. This is Alex Padilla, senator in California. Oh, did I tell you? Okay, the first one was Brad Lander, New York City comptroller and a mayoral candidate. He was arrested on June 17th while visiting an immigration court. Alex Padilla, June 12th, forcibly removed from DHS press conference in Los Angeles. LaMonica McIver was arrested June 10th, indicted for allegedly interfering with immigration officers. Arrested at the same protest as Mayor Ras Baraka. She's a representative of New Jersey. Hannah Dugan, she was arrested May the 13th, indicted for allegedly obstructing an immigrant arrest operation, arrested on April 25th. And then you have Ras Baraka, who was arrested on May 9th for protesting outside an ICE facility. He is a Newark, New Jersey mayor. Hannah Dugan is a Milwaukee County Circuit judge. So you can see, wow, you see judges arrested, senators, representatives, circuit court judge. This is crazy. A mayor. How long have they been doing things like this? How long have they been getting away with supporting illegal immigrants and illegal migrants being here in our nation? How long have they allowed for crime to be running rampant in our country? Welcome, Mac. Hi, Chief Mac. How are you?
Greatest. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, sir.
Awesome. Dr. Kid, it's good to see you.
Good to see you too.
Had to go live for a while.
Yeah.
But to jump in, I did that. What's that video happened about a year or so ago?
Mm-hmm.
When I was, when I ride, I keep my eyes open, guys, because
Mm,
I know what's going on out in the streets and what's going on with this nation. And what Dr. Kidd was talking about is one particular time, day, maybe about 4 or 5 in the evening, and I was riding. This is Cascade Road in Atlanta.
thank
And
you.
I'm so familiar with the area,
Mm,
any subtle change that happened, I'm so aware of it. And we all really need to keep our eyes open like this. We need to be each other protected. And this is what I do. When I hit the streets, my eyes are open. And I
mm,
saw these guys I had never seen before. And I know that we're not Africans.
mm.
I know that
Right.
I'm not African. I'm not black. I'm not no African American. I am an American. You
Yes,
know,
sir.
born here. My great, 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 great athletes be sprung from the soils of the oldest land mass in the world, which is America, which is why they call it Turtle Island. So I know,
Mm,
and I saw these guys, their spirit is different, their walk is different, their energy is different, you know.
hmm.
But they were trying to blend in like it was us because they had on like clothes that our men would wear. I said,
Mm,
and when I saw that, my alarm went off, guys. My alarm went off. I said, what the hell is going on here? Because they were
wow.
clustered. They were all like 30 or 40 of them just walking. I said, what the hell, like a gang? I said, what the hell is going on here? So I turned to Inspector Gadget. I took my phone and I said, I'm looking out for our people
Mm,
first. And what I saw wasn't right. And I knew it was dangerous.
mm,
It was dangerous because it's so dangerous that our people who are not aware, that think that they're Africans, will see these people and not see them as danger.
mm.
Not only danger to so-called black people, but it's danger to all people who subscribe themselves as Americans. Because when I saw these guys, I said, I took my phone out and I started watching. I parked and I
Mhm.
watched. I was surveying them. I was watching them drove around, and I saw that a, there was a bus dropping them off and a taxi cab dropping them off. And
Mm.
I saw, I'm saying, where are all these guys staying? So I surveyed the area and found out, and this is not any hate speech. This is entertainment purposes. You know, I found out they was dropping them off at some type of mosque.
Mm.
That an old mosque that was pretty like it was old, dilapidated, and it was at least 80 to 100 people. Them guys, all men, between
Wow.
of their early 20s to late 30s, fighting
Mm.
fighting age.
Yeah.
And when you see me, I actually went up to one of the guys. And let me tell you guys something. This is why we need to be on our P's and Q's. These young men that they were letting out, I heard that that these guys would do anything. These are Bush men,
Mm.
Bush, and they're outside the jurisdiction of the United States Corporation to even put them in jail. They can't even go to jail because they're UN protected.
Wow.
They can't even. You won't even see the police even look their way. They
Wow.
would never go to jail because they're in the jurisdiction. They're like under the jurisdiction of this corporation where they can't go to jail because to go to jail means that you have to be in the jurisdiction to actually be the fiduciary over that estate. So that
Okay.
the crime is against the estate, but you are not of the age of majority, so they gonna get you and warehouse you to get access to that estate.
Mm.
So these guys don't have the estate to go into, so they're of no interest to the law or the jail because they don't have an estate because they wasn't born here and created a birth certificate or a social security number. So they
My
bring here, and these guys are willing to do whatever it takes to survive here so they can send money back to their families.
goodness. Mm-hmm.
So they were here to do whatever, and all of them had a phone on them. They had a cell phone. And what come through on that phone to do, they're going to do. I watched them. So we have been infiltrated. That's been happening for a while. About 2 or 3 years ago, I posted on my page when they found these 3 African young men in their early 20s trying to snatch in a white vehicle, trying to snatch up 3 young children on their way home from school. And they got hemmed up and caught. But you'll never see this on the news because our redemption and Brexit won't be televised. We have to be the eyes and ears for each other because they're not. We don't have an Amber Alert. We don't have a Nene Alert. So we have to be each other's alert, and this is why that we have to operate in trust to create jobs for each other, so that we can hire young men to be employed. So when these children are going to school, we need to have people on each block to make sure our young men and women, it pains me. I've seen a little 9 to 10, 11-year-old girl have to be the mom for her little 8 and 7-year-old brother, holding their hands, trying to get home. That pains me. This is so dangerous. It doesn't take anything but 5 seconds to snatch up a child off the street and just disappear. So we have to, these people are still here. So because of me putting that on the record, about a month so later, they moved them guys. They moved them out of that mosque, and they moved them to because I put that on there, I had other people and men looking out. So they moved them to College Park, Old National Highway. But they're here, and they're not here to sing Kumbaya. They're not here. And if you want to know why the United States Corporation, they benefit tremendously from bringing foreigners and illegals over here. Why? Because they get more tax dollars out of that. They get people to do the job that most of us wouldn't do.
Yeah.
Private jobs. Then a lot of people come over here to the States with nothing in their pockets. And when you go to all of your malls and you see, this is no, I don't knock a person's hustle, but we Americans need to be taken care of first. And for the first time in a long time, be happening. And that's what needs to happen. We should be mad and angry and make sure that happens, that the Americans are taken care of first before anybody for a long time have been able to come to America and in 2 years outdo the average family here. Why is that? Because they're not taxed. They're given loans and grants from us. What belongs to us? They're given a portion of that so they wouldn't have to work these hard jobs. They can be at the mall selling jewelry. They got a restaurant selling fish and food, or they got a dry cleaner. This money is given to them.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, these people are plants and agents in our communities as infiltration. I found out, Habib got a gas station, a convenience store on the corner. But these guys are always selling drugs in front of his convenience store and seem to have a relationship with Habib.
Yep. I noticed the same thing in my community in Louisville, Kentucky.
I said, how is this possible? Habib is infiltration.
And the police, and if you notice, the police department, the police cars are often parked in front of Habib's store. Yeah. Because at least where I come from in Louisville, Kentucky, this is the story. What we've heard is that the police protect those people that are running drugs in our community. So, and they're involved in the operation.
So that's just where the war on drugs was on the indigenous melanated people of the Americas. Never any war on drugs itself. it was a military operation on the indigenous people of the Americas that started in the late 70s when they started building the penal system in the late 70s. This is me in your area. In the late 70s, they built the penal system. They were building more prisons than they were schools. And people
Mm.
ask the question, why are they doing this? It's because they knew in advance that they had an investment that people could make on the penal system, and they had been doing test runs on people, seeing how people would react to being on crack cocaine.
Wow.
And the crack cocaine epidemic tore up our communities, man. It tore,
Mhm.
and it was so bad that the city that I'm from, let's small Gary, Indiana, which is a pretty much populous city, it's like maybe 45 minutes from Chicago. Gary, Indiana, became the murder capital of the whole United States.
God, have mercy.
The murder capital out of every city, inner city in the Americas, where all of the drugs were dropped off at and the guns left there for us to get. Well, my hometown became the murder capital of the whole United States. In other words, in my teen years, I saw and experienced a lot of death.
Mm.
A lot of death. I've seen a lot of friends that I went to junior high school, the high school with, here one moment and gone the next moment. And I'm talking about heinous crimes, man. They would let certain people out of prison systems and gave them the rights to sell dope and drugs like that, in our communities. And so, I like to see right now, I'll be 54 Wednesday. I'll
Oh, happy birthday.
thank you. And in my 54 years of living, I've seen a lot.
Yeah.
I've experienced a lot.
Let me ask you a question, Chief. What do you say to a person who said what somebody said to me when I was doing my live? They called me a racist woman who hates who hates immigrants because I said that we have to protect our borders. How do you respond to that
When,
when
when,
you're looking out for your country?
let me tell this, that the person who said that, with all fairness, if you have enough humility, if you are accountable enough, and if you're not that, then there's nothing that I can say or you can say that's going to make sense to them. Because a person who lacks humility, grace, accountability has a perverse mind.
Mm,
You can't make any sense to them
mm,
because a person with logic would say anybody would want to protect their home. This is our home.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
And if you can't understand why I want to protect my home, you got issues.
mm.
Because this is mine. But the world has been so spoiled because the United States corporations have been bringing people to the droves over here, and we haven't said anything. Then
Mm-hmm.
they're spoiled to think that we're not supposed to say something. And then when we say something, it's a problem.
Mm-hmm.
Those days are going to be over with. This is our home. And things are going to turn around where we are going to be on top as we should in our home.
That's our home. Yeah.
And if you have a problem with that, tough cookies. Because we should be taken care of first.
Mm-hmm.
In other words, I'm going to be honest, I don't really care about anybody else right now. If you're here illegally like that, I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Because when I look at my people who are on the streets living worse than dogs and cats and rats,
Mm-hmm.
with inheritance they supposed to be getting, that's a major problem to me.
Mm-hmm.
So you call me a racist? You can kick rocks, man, and kiss where the sun don't shine. And I say that unapologetically. When I see the homeless community in Atlanta, it's 95% of the melanated people who didn't come here on those slave ships. When I see that they're giving dope and drugs and pills to open up their vessels to these disembodied spirits where they lose their mind.
Yeah, they do.
I don't see no other nation of people here who are homeless on the street to the tune that we are. I don't see other people in the prison system to the tune of what we are. I don't see we lack in everything derogatory, even to each other.
Now in California, Chief, when I lived there, that's the most amount of our Caucasian brothers and sisters I've ever seen homeless. I saw people eating out of garbage. California is horrible, eating out of garbage cans, and some of them had jobs. Many of them had jobs, and they were homeless,
Yeah.
eating out of and digging out of dumpsters. It broke my heart. I mean, people, just American people. Some of us, we have it really hard. But I also saw like a lot of Caucasians, and I'd never seen anything like it. I had to get out of California. It broke my heart. I've never seen people literally eat out of dumpsters with a job.
The
It
Caucasian,
was crazy.
that's a homeless community is picking up tremendously with the unfortunately with our Caucasian brothers and sisters. Our
Mm,
whole family in Atlanta sleeping on cardboard boxes at the park
mm,
down. A mom, seemed to be a husband, our brothers and sisters. It's a family of 5 of them sleeping next to each other,
mm,
and that
mm,
breaks my heart
mm.
because this is the richest country in the world,
Yeah.
and nobody should be homeless. So I don't.
Mhm,
I'm not happy with saying anybody homeless at all.
mhm,
Anybody,
me neither.
you know, and and homelessness didn't exist 60 years ago.
Yeah, because
It didn't
I'm
exist.
I'm close to your age. I don't remember seeing homeless
It
people.
did.
I don't.
It's when this system is so greedy that they say when we can create homeless people, we can thrive off that.
Mm,
Because if we turn you and make you homeless, then you're going to be coming to us for support.
I see.
That we can be the fiduciaries over your estate. When the people on the outside think that we're helping you, we can become the fiduciary over your estate by you coming to us being a dependent of us. We're going to get your social security number or your birth certificate, your license, all that. Now you're dependent on us. And so we can actually pull money from the government based on you being our dependent and we being your fiduciary over your estate is because you're at minor status. And that's what's going on.
Mm,
So they've been making big time money based on people's demise of being homeless. It made a lot of people.
mm,
When you're poor in mindset, spirit, and you get ran through.
mm-hmm,
You get
mm-hmm.
through when you're poor, and then the rich don't need a savior. Oh my God, they don't need a savior.
You know what? That's a good point.
The rich
Do
don't.
they do they ever talk about needing a savior?
Oh,
Waiting on the savior, waiting to get to heaven to have
because
anything?
they know it's within them. They can create their heaven on earth, and they got to be waiting on to get a pie in the sky, like they tell most people that be used to going through on earth. Be used to robbing Peter to pay Paul. Be
Mm,
used to having your shoelaces kicked off of you deep, and take that because
mm,
you're gonna get yours in the sky. So be comfortable being where you are, or don't try to move ahead because you're gonna
wow.
get yours in the sky while they got theirs here on earth. Because they say, as it's so, it is above, so shall it be below. So you're supposed to be able to experience your streets of gold, have your inheritance, your wealth and health here on earth. You're supposed to experience that. But the rich don't need a savior because they know who the true savior is. They know, and it's within you to save
Mm.
your own damn self. Because you
Chief,
say
I got
people
a question. Go
they
ahead.
say they on their knees with their head down praying, and you got Reverend Flint Flam robbing the ass blind,
Mm,
robbing the blind. You had your hands down and you're praying, and you don't supposed to look up, and then just that second you get robbed. You get spiritually robbed because nobody should be the fiduciary over your spiritual wealth and health as well as your physical. Nobody should be over your estate but you. So you have to put yourself over that estate to tap into that estate. So you
mm,
nothing happens in the spirit. Nobody should be your fiduciary to make it into the kingdom.
mm,
Your free will and the creator being within you gave you the ability to be your own fiduciary responsibility over your spiritual estate.
mm.
Because you shouldn't have a savior. And I'm sorry about that. But a lot of the people are going to realize and wake up that most of these pastors and these big time name pastors are agents in all communities. They know about these people coming over here. And the purpose of having these big giant mega churches for years I found out about 10, 12 years ago, about 14 years ago, that they was giving these pastors and bishops, these big churches, because they had already known, and they were briefing these pastors on the 2019 pandemic. We're going to use these churches to warehouse people and bring them in to be inoculated.
Wow.
Gotta do better, man.
Chief, I got a question for you. Did the illegal immigrants, the people that come over here from different countries, utilize or tap into any of our trusts?
Yes, yeah.
Can you, yeah, is that what was happening?
Yeah. But you go to your mall right now, and you any Main Street mall, you see these people with these selling that 10 karat gold, the cheap gold.
Mm-hmm.
You go to the major malls. When these people came here, they came here empty-handed, guys.
Mm.
They didn't come over here with gold.
Mm.
If these people had it going on where they were, they would have had gold to sell their own people.
Right.
But they don't have any wealth where they are.
Okay.
So they come here and they're briefed.
Mm.
They're given millions of dollars tax-free. And they
Mm.
bring their families over here, and they're all living in the same house. And they really love each other and support each other.
Yeah, they do.
Why do they do it? Because it's at the Americans' demise that they do that.
Mm.
They come over here empty-handed, and within a year or two, they're balling.
Yeah.
Because they are given money that's coming from our estates to live their most amazing life. And we shouldn't have a problem with that. So when they talk to a person like me, I got videos in my phone that I hadn't even posted yet. I be talking to these people and let them know. I say, no, this is my land.
Mm-hmm.
But we're empty-handed. And you got that gold, all this cheap gold, you telling my people come from us. Because the gold is here. And when you know who you are, it ain't got to be no hate speech. It's always got to be hate speech.
I know.
People want to shut you up when you tell them the truth. No, the truth is going to come out because people are waking up in the droves.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good thing because if we wake up in the drove and we are actually operating the trust line, then the system is going to be shut down. It's going to be forced to.
Right.
It'll be forced to. So it is correct that these people that are coming over here, the corporation is giving them the funds from our states to live their most amazing life. And then they come over here acting proud and puffed up.
Oh yeah, and they treat you. Some people, not all of them, of course. Some people treat you so nastily when you go into their stores or their restaurants. You know, it used to be a time where they would follow you around the store, like like you were going to steal something from them, or they would just be really nasty to the point where you just didn't even want to.
And
you didn't want to support them.
I'll tell you guys a story that happened to me like about 2.5 weeks ago. 2.5.
Okay, keep going. I'm gonna let you talk. I'm gonna get the charger to my computer. Keep talking, Chief.
Okay, I'm gonna tell you guys a situation that happened to me, and this is no hate, and I'm not saying all people are like this. You got good and bad people in every nationality and race of people. So if anybody's on here, Chief Mack or Dr. Kia or whoever, we're not just picking on a particular people or race or nation of people at all, period. There's good and bad in everything, okay? But I want to say this right here. I had went to K&G. I had an outfit that I wanted to get tailored, right? So I was talking to this I think she's from Chinese lady, and she was a bit short with me. This Chinese lady, she was a bit short with me, and I'm like, listen, man, my body's made up a certain way, and if I'm paying money, don't give me no lip about how I want my clothes cut. My body's a certain way, so I want my clothes to fit me a certain way. So if I say I want extra inches taken off this right here, and my waist come down, this 36-inch waist or these 50-inch shoulders, I want it to fit me like that. But don't give me no lip about that. I'm paying. So I was like, ma'am, can you do it the way I want to do it? But she had some mouth. So I had took my wallet out my pocket and laid it on the and so she had put the measurements as they should. She gave it back to me, gave the ticket to me. So I was going to the front to actually pay for it, right? When I got to the front, I had realized that I had left my wallet on the bench back in the back. So when I ran up, I said, let me go run up there in the back to get my wallet. When I get back there, I see my wallet was gone. So I said she had to get it because she's on the one back there. I said, hey, ma'am. I said, you got my wallet right there? It was left right on the bench right there. She said, oh, I took it in the front. It was in the front. I said, okay. And then so I ran up to the front and I asked the young ladies up there, it was like 4 different women at the cash register. I said, hey, ma'am, the lady said that she brought my wallet to you guys. And they each one by one. They was like, no, nobody brought a wallet to me. I said, she said she brought it up here. This is no. They was looking. And so I asked the manager, I said, did she bring the wallet back here to you? She said, no. So I went back up there. I said, ma'am, I said, no one said that she brought any wallet up here. And she was like looking puzzled, like, well, you know. I said, nobody saw you. I said, come back here, come up front and let me know where and who you left it with. And she said, well, she said, well, no, I think I gave it to a guy and told him to take it up to the front. I said, you did what? Well, I gave it to a guy. I said, did the guy work it? What? No, I don't know. I said, what the hell are you doing giving my wallet to somebody else who don't even work it? I said, it should be policy. You should even know that the first thing you need to do is take that wallet to a manager, period. And so when I went up to the counter to talk to one of the young ladies, she was saying, well, all you got to do is pull the cameras. I said, I was saying it. I said, the cameras is going to tell everything. I said, pull those damn cameras. I said, you know what? You're lying. I said, if my wallet is not back in my hands within 30 minutes, I'm going to shut this shit down. I said, because you don't know who you're dealing with. I said, give me my damn wallet so I can get up out of here. I was mad. I knew she had my wallet. She had my damn wallet. She had my wallet. I knew she had it. I told that manager, I said, I'm not trying to make a scene. I said, give me, excuse my French, guys. Excuse me. I said, give me my damn shit so I can get up out of here. I said, give it to me. I said, I'm going to give you a half an hour. If you're not sheriffs and everybody up here and shut this down. Get up out of here. Because I know she got it. And I just stood right there and I was being cool. I said, I could turn it out. I said, I'm going to be cool now. I said, I'm going to give you a half an hour. And about 25 minutes later, the manager coming to me with my damn wallet.
Wow.
Sir, is this your picture? She had my diplomatic passport. Is this she right here? I said, y'all, and all the people online, I said, y'all be careful because y'all are up here with some people who don't like you, man. I was mad. I said, she don't need to be working here. She's alive. She thought she's going to come up on my wallet, but I got a special, my freeze on all my debit cards and everything. And, you know, they got biometrics. If you try to go out here and use somebody's card, it's going to know whether it's you or not because I've had people, my wallet got, my banks called me right away. I have a trust account. And they knew that it wasn't me. I said, how the hell did they know that wasn't me? They called and sent me an alert through my text, my phone. And with the system that's going on right now, all this slick stuff people doing, with these PIN numbers, going there using these fake numbers and running them up and then go get another one and not. That's done. Operating. If you operate in honor, there's no reason why a person who's tapped in and plugged in should be operating in a lower vibrational way.
I agree.
There's no reason because there's wealth that's coming to us all who are tapped in. And those of you who couldn't afford to be tapped in and get anything like that, if you're righteous, then the people like me, Dr. Kidd, other people who got foreign currency, we're going to pull people in. I've been people. And I plan on helping people when the funds come. It's not about me. And I'm starting at home, where charity should start. So start with myself. And it's going to work out what that means. And the system ain't broke. It's just fixed a certain way. You gotta play a certain way.
Speaking of the system being a certain way, Code One Film. Hi, brother. Hi, King. He says they're accessing 12 USC 95A2, the Usufruct Trust. I haven't heard of that. They're accessing this particular trust, the people that come over here.
Yeah, yeah. That's what they're
And
doing.
wow.
That access that with the system allowing them to access that, but it's a giant pool of an unlimited amount of credit that comes from the American people. I think I
Mm,
told you a while back that everybody that's being taxed, those funds are going inside of a giant pool, and certain people, it's called who knows how to do accrue accounting. You are considered a broker by the IRS to know how to go in there and receive these credits to you. And you can't do it being in minor status. And if you try to do it, you're gonna find yourself locked away.
mm,
Plan right now. Because the actual funds that we're gonna get from these foreign currencies is coming from that trust. That's
mm,
the currency is not, it don't have anything. If you take those currencies to the bank, the treasury is connected to that. The treasury are going to pull the money from your estate. Those are where the funds are coming from. That's why they're doing biometrics, and that's why they're not playing with that. They're going
mm. Look like Chief got kicked out. He's
Can you hear
coming
me?
back. Yeah, we can hear you now.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. So wherever you have gold, silver, foreign currencies, whatever, all the funds are going to come from the estate. Any and everything is going to come from your estate.
Mm. Chief, we were talking about people.
I can't hear you, Dr. Kidd. I don't
You
know
can't hear me?
Hold on for a second.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? You can't hear me?
Someone had tried to call me, and
Oh, okay.
she's over here. I'm about to
Can you
go
hear
in
me?
and come out.
Okay.
I'll go in to come right back out.
Okay, sounds good. Chief's gonna go in and come out. Code One Film. Do you want to talk at all about the trust that you mentioned here? Because if you do, I'm gonna put a link in the chat. I want you to talk a little bit about that trust, and if not now, you can come on at another time. I would love for you to do that. So let me give you a link. Hold on 1 minute, Chief. Let me see if I can find a link here. Code One, did you want to come in and talk about that trust? If you want to briefly talk about that trust and how people are accessing it, here's a link right here. Hey, Chief.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Don J says, Chief must be getting too close to the truth. The truth or the lie that they use. He's saying you must be getting too close because that's why you having problems. So, Chief, what I wanted to say, we were talking about people being here unlawfully and how they're accessing a trust and how they were allowed to, get certain benefits. I happened to read about the Homestead Acts earlier today. And what they were saying, and I'll just be brief, is that there were several laws that were created where the government had owned certain land. They're calling it public lands here in America. I don't know how they owned it. I don't know if they stole it. I don't know if it was the indigenous or people sold it, but the government owned lands here, and they told people that they can come and settle on these particular lands, and they would give them free land in exchange for them coming and settle on the land. It says the Homestead Acts were several laws in the United States by which an applicant could acquire ownership of government land or the public domain, typically called a homestead. In all, more than 160 million acres of public land, or nearly 10% of the total area of the United States, were given away for free to 1.6 million homesteaders. Most of the homes, then it goes on to talk about most of the homesteads and what they were. And I'm like, they gave people land free? Where did this land come from that they happen to get free?
From the indigenous people.
It said most of the homesteads were west of the Mississippi River. And that's what I wondered.
So the pretendians got a lot of that land, and now things are flipping around where we have, you know, the Hispanics people. Some of them are being asked to leave, and they're wanting us to join with them and hold hands to sing "Kumbaya," with them. And it's just like that, because now these people have found out that Mexico is not even that land, because the indigenous people of Mexico look like us. All of South America look like us, and they find out they come from the Siberia. But you had the Mongoloids that mixed in with the Spaniard conquistadors, and that's what who will call themselves the Indians here, but they're not. They're not. The truth is coming out right now. We know the storyline, and it's just not. The truth is coming out, but the truth is scary and dangerous to some people, and they would consider it hate speech. But it's just, the truth is just going to come out. We're in that time right now where the truth is coming out, and you should want the truth, because you should want balance. It's going to bring about much balance where all people can live comfortably. It should be it'll go back to the days where there was no homeless people. And you look back at the 20s, the 30s, and the 40s, there were no homeless people. 50s, there were no homeless people like that. There were no gangs. There weren't any people cracked out on the streets like they were right now. All of this stuff happened within the 70s and up. The 70s and up is when they started this stuff. They ran a harsh campaign on Medicaid Americans, lower income people here of any race, But the things are going to clear themselves up right now, because the United States corporation will be dissolved. We don't know when, but it will be. It's just the time is up right now. So a lot of times I tell people it's better to have things that shut up and not needed than to need it and not have things set up. So that's why, I operate with a common law trust. Everybody should have a foundation, as many as you can have in your family, so that you can give to each other. Foundation, and there's tax benefits that comes along when you have a foundation, and you can give to each other in a foundation. This is what the rich and the wealthy and the people, celebrities do. They all have a foundation, not the 501 or 503, the 508. They have that foundation. They can keep the wealth amongst themselves by simply giving to themselves. That's what we should do, when we can give to each other for a cause and help empower each other and bring the balance back to the earth and get these people off the streets who are homeless.
Yeah. Speaking of the foundation, Chief, I did end up calling the IRS. So for those of you who got a 508 trust from Chief Mack, please know that there used to be a time where you can just go online and get a number, an EIN number for your foundation. And this is a foreign EIN number so that you can operate outside the jurisdiction of the government, the United States Incorporated. So no longer can you do it online. Now you have to fax. So I did fax it, Chief. So I can give you the fax number and everything for any clients that might ask. I faxed the IRS, and then they tell you to wait 3 or 4 days and then call them. And I called them today, as a matter of fact, because it was 3 or 4 days after I faxed them and say, here's my foundation. I have a foundation. I need an EIN, because right now we're operating in a system where you need an EIN, right? So I thought it was peculiar because they asked me my name, my date of birth, my social security number, the address of my foundation, and they asked me some personal information, and I was like, oh, they either want to access my personal trust or something, because they asked me my personal information. And then they said, okay, then they said, hold for about 3 to 7 minutes and we'll do a little research. So I don't know what they were researching. And then we'll get right back on the phone and let you know your EIN number that was created specifically for your foundation. So we did that. And they kept making sure, are you sure you're authorized to speak on behalf of this foundation? I said, absolutely, I created it. She said, okay. So then I said, well, you've asked me a series of questions. Let me ask you one question. She said, sure. I said, is the IRS functioning right now solely and independently on its own? She paused. I said, because I can't get a hold of people on the phone typically, I had to go through a series of chains and different things before I finally get a hold. I said, are y'all operating or are you put underneath the umbrella now of the United States Treasury Department? She said, absolutely. Now the IRS has merged with the U.S. Treasury Department. They're one and the same. Anything dealing with money comes through the U.S. Treasury Department. I just wanted to share the information that's confirmation for what we've been saying, that the IRS literally is being dismantled and they have just a few agents that are working, and they're really working for the Treasury Department.
There's this treasure right now because they're going to be pulling money from the state. And let me tell you something. For anybody that have that fax off the SS4 application to receive your foreign EIN number, which is a 98 number, they should not be asking for your social at all, period. You should never give them your social security number because the only thing that you should be giving them is the information that's on the application, period. That's all you need to give them. Yeah, how you know that? Okay, this is so-and-so, so-and-so. I'm calling on behalf of so-and-so, so-and-so foundation. This is the address right here. But, man, could we get your social, ma'am? You have the information here, and you can pull it up this way. So kind. I faxed in 3 weeks ago. I understood that typically it takes 2 to 3 weeks to be formulated. Calling so I can get it, ma'am. They should not get your social security number at all, period, because they don't want to give you that number because it's a very powerful number when you get it. They should not be, only thing they should be asking for you to pull up and populate your account is the information that's on that paper, and your social security number is not on there because it
It's
don't.
not. You're right. It
They
wasn't
want
on
you
there at all. You're
they want
right.
you to do that to put you back in the jurisdiction of the United States Corporation. With that
Oh,
number, you create a new identity
okay.
that's equitable, and that benefits that comes with it. The reason why I put it in your name, there are benefits that come from doing that because that's the name that's attached to that ledger account.
I see.
They should never ask for your social, and you should never give them your social security number.
I'm glad because I was wondering, like, why is she asking me that? Because it's not on the was it SS4 form? Whatever that form that you sent me. It wasn't on there. None of my personal information was on
Yeah,
there.
no, no.
Okay.
Because why? Why? It's because you're creating a new identity.
Mm,
You give them a name, and the name that you give them, the number is going to make that name a different person.
I
Now you're
see.
walking on water. Now you have been resurrected and born again. Become that new woman that they don't want you to become. Because that new woman is out of the corporation where they can't handle you. So you could take your 98 number,
Mm-hmm.
and that number can go on the Form 56 and put that on the court case and watch magic happen.
Mm.
Because the court.
Don J said, so I've heard that it's illegal for any government or public to ask for your social security number.
Even the IRS states that.
Mm.
That's a credit card number. That's why they know it. It is a credit card. That's why they tell you that no one is not supposed to be giving that number to anybody because it is a credit card.
Wow.
Attached to a huge unlimited account. So we just been in the past 60 or so years, we have been lied to tremendously, man. We have been taught to enjoy living unalive. Because the genuine masses are unalive on paper, and that's what they said. You're gonna have nothing. You're gonna enjoy it.
That's what they said. Chief, you got a few minutes for some questions?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you so much for your time, Chief. I know this was last minute. Marquay asks, can you change from a 503c to a 508?
No, you just create a 508 and just dissolve the 503. You can't change it. You just recreate something else. Yeah.
Oh, and then S. Coop says that's why they asked if you are authorized to speak on behalf of the foundation, clarifying the difference between the SS person. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for that. Okay, let me see. Any more questions? Fam, you have a question for Chief while he has time, please put it in the chat. I'm going back here. Um, so the Dennis Moore asks, what happened to all the hollowed out bullets they bought for the IRS agents? I don't know. I know those IRS, there was like 87,000 IRS agents they were trying to get hired to shoot Americans for not paying their taxes, but Trump halted that 87,000. But I don't know what happened to the bullets.
That's a scare tactic. That was a scare tactic.
Mm.
Because ain't no Americans, especially these white guys, gonna sit there and allow somebody, you come mess with them, they got some bullets for you, for real bullets. You ain't they believe in the gun laws. 87, that ain't gonna happen. That was a scare
Mm.
tactic. Because the IRS was desperate and trying to put a scare tactic out there, to threaten people. The same people who would threaten, see, they knew that all you gotta do is put a threat out there. And there's a level of people out there who believe any and everything we say. And
Mm.
unfortunately, some of these people were the ones who stood in line and took in the Jim Jones juice. These are the same people that they're after. They said we can scare these people up, and then they was hurry run down and pay their tax. But that's no one in the world. They're gonna sit there and try to shit. That ain't gonna happen because you got some folks that got some. They got the rabbit don't really have the gun because the rabbit had the gun, but didn't have the bullets to go with it. Now the rabbit got the bullets.
Not a rabbit. Yeah. Amen.
Right now, they ain't gonna do that. That's a shit shake.
Big Bear says, thank you, Chief. Big Bear says settlers were encouraged to expand by the government giving grants and homesteads to pilgrims. Let's see what else. Okay. Here's a question. Don J asks, so when did they change the name of the land? Wasn't it once called Newfoundland? Was Turtle Island once called Newfoundland? I think that's what he's talking about.
This land has gone by many different names, but we know the indigenous name is Turtle Island. The reason it was named Turtle Island because the turtle is the oldest land animal known to man, which states that America, this landmass, is the oldest land. It was the first land to re-emerge from the Great Flood, when the whole earth was flooded to kill off these titans of this land. And that was when a great reset happened. There has been some big resets. And people, I'm telling you, there's a major reset happening right now. A major reset. And so I think the past 150 years, there have been 5 major resets falls in with the wealth and with the currencies. This is the 6th one right now. So there's some folks that's about to be so wealthy, it's going to baffle people. But also, I want to say this. I'm seeing a lot of people transition.
Yeah.
I've seen 2 young ladies, they lost their dad. I lost a family member, a cousin of mine. I just corresponded with him like a week and a half ago, and 4 days ago, she's not here anymore.
Right.
But I'll tell you something. This cousin of mine was operating in a very lower vibrational way. When you don't respect the Most High, the Great Spirit, and our ancestors, and living a righteous life, living a upstanding life, this cousin of mine, on and off on drugs.
Yeah.
His mama ragged. He's about 55, 56. And just didn't respect life. Just living recklessly. It caught up with him. If you're going out here lying on people, you claim to be woke, with any and everybody that's listening to this live, your main objective should be to get this wealth, to be that savior for your family, to break these generational curses. And if that's not on the forefront of your mind, then I feel sorry for you because you won't make it through. This life is not promised. Let me tell you something. I had a dream yesterday morning about a tornado. I used to have dreams about tornadoes growing up as a child, and I was always warning people because I was always able to see the danger happen before people could recognize it. So when a storm was coming, I was like, guys, the storm is coming. Run to safety. And as time progressed, the storm got closer and closer and closer to the point I wasn't able to warn people anymore because I had to save myself.
Mm.
And I just had this dream yesterday morning, and then I realized that West Virginia got hit with a bad rainstorm and flood.
Mm.
Virginia,
Hey, son.
yeah. Also, this
Mm.
morning at 5:55 in the morning, I woke up and something I saw 555 on my phone, and I screenshot it. They
Mm.
said something about 555 about something about going on with the. We're getting really really close, guys. So just hold
Yes.
on. We're getting really really close.
Thank you, Chief.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask you to give, if you can, give final words. And my son just came, and I want to spend some time with him.
Okay.
Can you give some final words in conclusion to our soul family? You know, talking about how Democrats are being arrested, and what's going on with the border, or anything that you've talked about.
Well, the Democrats are being just removed.
Okay.
That time is up. It was written that it's up, and they are stung. They never thought this day would come, and the day has come where the world is moving over. When we say the gold standard, the wealth transfer, it's meaning that people are going to have, when it's all said and done, we'll have access to that ledger account.
Hmm.
We'll have access to the ones right now. Us, we are in the forefront where we're getting it first, but eventually the people will have access to their state.
Mm-hmm.
They're not going to do that all at once because people have been poisoned so bad mentally that we have
Right.
spiritual awakening as far as the emotionally wise, health wise. It's just that religious wise, you'll know that to operate in trust, you have to trust yourself and to go within to find the creator. And that's what people are going to find out. But so they're going to do things in space right now. So I'm just telling
Mm.
the whole family just to keep on loving on each other, keep on having the perseverance, the steadfastness, the willpower, love, and constantly keep everybody lifted, with prayer. Because we don't own these lives, guys. We're here for a reason. You don't tell your heart to your diaphragm to beat at night. You're not in control of yourself. You're here. Earth is a test, and it
Mm.
could be a prison planet to you if you don't get your shit right.
Mm-hmm.
I know too much to be lower vibrational to people. Why is that? Because I know that everything that I do is been jotted down, recorded, and watched. And I live my life knowing that I am being watched, that I have to be on the best behavior that I can. And for people who are used to operate in a wicked way and winning at it, you're not going to win anymore. Those days are numbered.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to win at being wicked anymore. So if anybody that thinks that all power is theirs, they can continue to go ahead and cause chaos in people's lives through lies, deceit, and deception. Your days are numbered. So let's continue to support each other. Be anxious of nothing because the time when it happens, it's going to happen. And we're going to live our most amazing life, guys. It's going to happen. I know. I don't believe
It's
it.
going to happen. Chief, if somebody wants to contact you for a consultation, for whether it be for a fitness program because you are a trained fitness certified fitness trainer, or whether it be for a trust, a 508, so they can live outside the jurisdiction of the government, or for anything other, for consultation, anything that you've talked about today, how can they contact you?
Oh, okay. And I'm glad you brought it up, Dr. Kid, because as you know, I'm back in the gym training, working out. I feel absolutely fantastic, man. Absolutely. I'm trying to shape up, put my size on. I'm working out. I'm inspiring a lot of people. And so for those of you who need a workout regimen or training like that, I talked to a guy yesterday, Brother Max, and I'm thinking about putting something together for people who want a training regimen, even when it comes to eating a certain way. I live
Uh-huh.
my life in a way. My skin, they said my skin looking nice. My skin,
Good.
um, I'm still going. I have a ritual that I go by,
Uh-huh.
of things that I take to keep my skin looking healthy. Out of all my brothers, I'm the only one still growing hair. And if I don't cut my hair within 2 months, I have an afro. It grows fast. But I don't put lotions on my body because it's clogging
Mm.
pores up. You put things up, living things on your body, natural oils, so your body can pull it in. Certain things you need to do. So I am doing these things. I am being a leader as far as through action about how I live my life, you know. And
And so
so,
I've said that they can contact you via email. Is that correct?
yes, Unity in Motion for Unity in Motion 45 at yahoo.com. For those
Okay.
of you who want to get that 508 C18 irrevocable trust, you can call me to get it because it's going to be necessary to get that. The IRS is trying to hang around because they're trying to pull 27 to 37% from people.
Mm,
They're trying to hang around because they know until that transfer of wealth happen with the currency, they're trying they're trying to hang around to get their hands
they
on.
are.
So how do you stop that? You don't go in there and open up an account with their number that belongs to them to be equitable.
Mm,
You start your own number, which is the 98 number outside of their jurisdiction.
mm.
Tax like that, so you need that right there. So you call me, we can work out something to get that done. Because I believe in that the things are looking like they're saying by the end of the month or first of by July sometime, so the 4th of July.
Yes, we are definitely extremely close. We've been talking about what's going on in all those countries that most of us have currencies, and they have literally stated that they're self-sufficient now. That is key to the revaluation occurring.
Yeah.
So if you want to know any about anything we've discussed today and you would like to have a consultation with Chief Mack, please contact him at unityinmotion45@yahoo.com. That's UNITYINMOTION 45@yahoo.com. And now you heard him talk about his skin being healthy and he has a regimen. He eats well. He has a workout regimen. He gives consultations on workouts. He can tell you how to, he can put a plan together for you because he was certified in that. He was a top producer and he also trained entertainers. So the man, and he competed. Say it again. Oh, go ahead.
I'm gonna post some pictures today of me at my best shape today on my page, so you guys can see how Chief Mack was. When I was in shape, and I'm right now. I don't know because I worked out. I am actually 255. Cause I put on weight from the mass that's building up, and I'm trying to cut down right now. I'm so fortunate that I can still push hard in the gym like a young man. I had that wear and tear on my body, so I can tell the men my age and so forth, how to train the body, how to get strength, how to eat a certain way. Sometimes I eat 1.5 meals a day, and sometimes I may eat 1 meal a day, and I may fast for like maybe 15 hours, and don't get the next meal to like 15 to 16, 17 hours. Now, because I push hard and heavy weight, if I eat according to how my body says eat. If I need to eat more, then I eat more to feed the muscles. So it's second nature to me. It's second nature.
And this is you.
Yes.
This is you. So you're going to post a picture here on your Facebook page. Judah Allen.
I'm gonna post the pictures in the next 2 hours of me getting back in shape. I'm gonna
okay.
Post yeah.
I put that in the chat, family. His name on Facebook is Judah Allen. So he's going to post pictures so you can see him at his optimum weight and shape, and you can see some of the things that he's done. He's competed as well. So make sure you contact him. And he also mentioned something about skin. I want to let you all know that soon, either by the end of this week or early next week, we're going to have Sister, what is her name? Let me see, Cordoba. Oh, Selena Cordoba, who is the wife of Asir, the Duke of Tears. We're going to have her on the show, and she's going to talk about skin care, health care, nail care, skin, nails, hair. And she's also going to talk about how trauma can affect your skin and how she has organic, 100% organic, healthy skincare products. So we're going to bring her on so you guys can meet her if you haven't met her and talk to her about her skincare products. But if you want to get a heads up, go to CordobaOrganics.com. She has body care, face care, hair care, and all the skincare and healthcare products she can actually tailor to you. If you believe in like zodiac signs, she can cater it to your zodiac sign, according to your numerology, according to any of your conditions, I mean, all type of things, whether you're into like lunar hair care. Some people believe in taking care of certain hair care rituals around surrounding the moon. This woman is dynamic. She's phenomenal. 100% pure organic skin, hair, and nail care products. She will be on our program very soon within the next few days to talk about those. So that's about it, Chief.
Okay.
Somebody wanted to ask you about the Bolivar. Well, we can talk about that. We can talk. Do you want to answer a question about Venezuela Bolivar, or you want to save that for later?
Listen, it's simple, guys. Right now, the banks and everybody, they've been set up with this with the electronic monetary system. That's what's going on right now. They're trying to systematically level all the banks where the banks are ready, and then all they got to do is hit that switch because they're ready right now. Everything is ready. Just have to make sure the banks are set up to be able to take currency from these people.
Mm-hmm.
If everything is staged, the stages are set. They're ready. They run the test route. They're excited. And the reason the other countries and nations are excited is because when we take their currencies in there to a bank, and when the money is pulled out of our estate, these countries are going to get a piece of it, and they're excited about it. That's why they're excited.
I see. And I think that's about it, Chief. Some people are saying they're going to contact you for their trust. So,
as you guys know, I am so thankful for you guys because I accept gifts on my birthday.
wait, that's right. How can if they wanted to give you a gift for your birthday, or even a gift for any information you've given us today?
I'm so excited that I'll be 54. I'm so excited about life that on the other side of 50, I'm expected to live the most amazing life. And I'm so grateful, man. So grateful.
Is this your Cash App, Alan Judah 47?
That's correct.
Okay. You want to send him a birthday gift or monetary gratitude for often coming on the Dr. Kia Pruitt show to give us some pearls of wisdom or information and knowledge, as he is the chief of the Soul Tribe, then here, please feel free to give him a blessing on his Cash App, $ Alan Judah 47. They're saying happy birthday, Chief.
Thank you. I was born on 666.
Okay.
I'm in the mark of the beast.
All right. Okay, which we know 666 is actually a blessed number. 6 protons, 6 neutrons, 6 electron equals carbon and melanin.
And 1 plus 8 is...
Go ahead. What'd you say, Chief?
And at 18 is 9 ether. The year 1971, 18. To give you 1 plus 8 is 9 ether.
Okay.
And I have master numbers in my social, 33 and 66 in my social.
Wow. All right, Soul Family, this has been such a very informative podcast. We thank you so much for your time. We thank you for your energy. We thank you for all the information you've given each other in the chat. I love the way you all support each other and answer questions in the chat. That's what we're here for. We are one tribe. We're a tribe full of different skin complexions, different ethnic backgrounds, different nationalities. Right, Chief?
Yes,
different,
we are.
Even different religious and spiritual.
Vibrations, not colors.
Say it again.
The soul tribe of vibrations and not colors.
That's right. Soul tribe of vibrations and not colors. So that's it, family. On tomorrow, I'm going to talk to you all about a secret trust that I heard about that President Trump will allegedly unleash. And we're going to talk about that on the members only group. So if you want to be a part of the members only group, let me see where I can find that. I'm going to drop the link in the chat. This is called the Silver Soul Tribe membership group. That group talks about investments. We'll talk about the dinar. Some of you had questions about the Bolivar. I'm going to tell y'all something about the Bolivar on tomorrow. Okay. So if you want to be a part of the group where we talk about investments and we go into deep information about what's happening in Iraq and some of those other countries that you all have invested in, please join the Silver Soul Tribe membership group here. I put that link in the chat, or you can go to this video or any of my videos on my Dr. Kia Pruitt official channel. And next to all of my videos as well as on the main page of that channel, you'll see a button that says subscribe. Beside the subscribe button is the join button. Some people don't see the join button on their mobile device, so they'll have to go to their computer, which is really weird. I don't know why they set it up like that. You know, we see some weird stuff happening here on our page, but go to that join button and hit that button and follow the prompts, and then you will become a member of the Silver Soul Tribe, or you can just use this link right here. So thank you again, family. We love you so much. This has been the Dr. Kia Pruitt Show. You've spoken to Chief Mac, the chief of the Soul Tribe, and Dr. Kia Pruitt. I hope we said something to raise your vibrations and inspire you to create the most amazing, magnificent life that you desire and deserve. Good night, soul family. Go out and have a wonderful evening. Love you, Chief.
Love you too now.
Okay, talk to you soon. Love you, family. Peace.